I'm going to run through the syllabus. Now, you can get to the syllabus by going into Canvas, or you can type this URL into a browser, or you can scan this code. Any of those ways works. They all go to the same place. The only syllabus that you're ever going to find in this class is online. So I do not do paper. It's a computer science class, so I don't really see the point there. Am I in your way? There you go. I'll let you take a clear shot there. Anyhow, so, and I do have a big coffee problem. So, the syllabus. First of all, office hours. When are my office hours and where are my office hours? On this campus, right after this class for an hour. That's it. Okay, so right after this class for an hour. At BC Southwest, it's before my class there. It's from 9 to 9:30 in the BC Southwest Library. B3E is my office. If you go straight down this hall and you pass the display case with all the really old computers in it, and you turn left immediately after that, there's an office there called B3, and actually B3D. I don't know why I forgot to change that, but anyway, it's just next door. It's the cubicle next door. So if you walk in there, my door will be open. You'll be able to find me. By the way, in that glass display case with all the really old computers, fun fact, the purple iMac that's in there was actually my computer the second year I worked here at BC. It sat on my desk. So, because I started out in charge of the BC website, so I needed a Mac to test things on. Anyway, so communicating with me should be pretty straightforward, right? I will communicate with you primarily. Obviously, you're here in person, so I'll speak to you. But electronically speaking, Canvas announcements, so announcements that will come out weekly through the class. I'll send messages individually to your Canvas inbox, and I will use your BC email. If I feel like it's a real emergency, I might look up your cell phone and shoot you a text if you like go MIA or something like that, or if I'm just checking in on you. Most of the time, though, I will use those things. Now, if you see the commonality between these things, it means the commonality is that all of those things are official BC channels of communication. How many of you regularly check your BC email? That is way more than I thought. Okay, good for you. Those of you that did not put your hands up, highly recommend making a habit of that. And when you finish with BC and you move on to Cal State Bakersfield or UCLA or Davis or Berkeley or Stanford or wherever you go, just a pro tip, start checking your official institutional email early and often, because that is often the only way professors and the university are allowed to communicate with you. And that's true here at BC also. We're not really supposed to try and find your personal email, and we have access to your phone numbers on record, but they really encourage us to use the BC email. So that's the primary thing that your professors will use. Now that class has started, I will make use of the tools in Canvas. If you have a question or you're looking for something, Canvas is going to be the hub for everything related to this class. So that's really the first place to look. Now, getting in touch with me, I want to make this really easy for you. This will ring my cell phone, okay? This is not my cell number. It's a Google Voice number, but it forwards to my cell phone. If you call me, I will probably let it go to voicemail because I get so many telemarketing calls, it's ridiculous. And so if I don't have you in my address book, I will probably let it go to voicemail. Make sure that you leave a message. And also in that message, if you can let me know whether it's okay to text you back or not, that's really useful, because when you leave a voice message on my number, it actually texts me the text. It transcribes it and sends me out as a text. So it's easy for me to just respond to that if I'm in a meeting or doing something else or whatever. This is really like, I would like a response soon, or I need a response soon, or I'm getting halfway through this assignment, I'm panicking. Obviously, I'm not going to sit up in the middle of the night waiting to see if anybody texts me. I like to sleep probably more than most people, but I will respond to this as soon as I can. If you have a question about code, the best way to do it is to send a message through Canvas inbox. And if you're asking me a question about your code, it's best if you include your code file, your Python file, as an attachment. Because then you can say something like, hey, I'm getting this error on this code. And then I can open your code and I can say, oh, here's what's wrong. And I can send you a response right away. But if you text me or Canvas inbox me or email me and say, Professor Mosley, I have a problem with my code. There's nothing I can do about that except say, will you please send me your code file and tell me what the problem is? Then we wasted a whole round of communication on me asking for more information so that I could help you. But if you give me all the information right away, I can help you really quickly. Because most of the time, the stuff that you're going to have trouble with, I've seen it before. So send me your code in your communication. Yes.
How would you send someone your code?
What's that?
How would you send someone your code?
I'll show you that. It's pretty easy to find the file, and then you would just send it as an attachment. But yeah, I'll show you that later in class for sure. So attendance. You're here. You registered for an in-person class. I fully expect that you'll be here unless you have some serious reason not to. I say this every single class, every single semester, and over the course of the semester, attendance kind of goes like that. But the problem is, there's a direct relationship, and by the way, I have studied this using actual statistics. There's a relationship between people who come to class throughout the whole semester and people who do well in the class. People who start bailing, the earlier you start bailing on the face-to-face class, the more likely it is that you won't pass the class. You'll get confused. In this class, it's not just going to be me talking the whole time. I'm going to talk and we're going to do stuff. I'm going to talk a little bit and then you're going to do stuff. And I'm going to have you code along with me and work on little projects and work on practice assignments and things like that. So there's a lot of benefit to being here. It's going to be fairly interactive in terms of you doing stuff. So there's value to this. And I try to make the class time as valuable as possible. We will move through a lot of material in this class. We will do 1 or 2 modules every single week of the class. It's all in the syllabus. It's all available. You can look at the syllabus and you can say, on this day, we will be doing module 12. And on that day, I guarantee you, we will be doing module 12. My syllabus and my schedule is very, very solid, and I try to make class as predictable as possible because let's be honest, there's no really good surprise in a college class, right? Except maybe class is canceled, right? That's a good surprise. So there'll be lecture time, work time. Basically, either you sign up for a face-to-face class. There's a reason for that. At some point, at some level, you decided, because there was an online class available when you signed up for this one, you decided, no, I'm going to choose the face-to-face class. So trust yourself. Trust your decision to be in the face-to-face class and come to class. You already blocked it out in your calendar. So just come. So if for online students, it's really all about participation and keeping up, but online students have access to the same lecture videos that you do. So everybody has a fairly equal footing, with the one exception that you registered for a face-to-face class. You're guaranteed a seat here every single week, every single time the class meets. Other than that, all things are pretty equal. There's 2 hard deadlines in this class. Assignment 1 must be completed by the 3rd of September at 11:59 p.m. Anybody who does not finish A1 by the 3rd at 11:59 p.m. will be dropped from the class. A1 through A5, so the first 5 assignments in the class, have to be completed by October 26th at 11:59 p.m. Or you'll be dropped from the class and you'll receive a W grade. Why do I do that? I'm not just trying to be a jerk, I promise. I do it because what I found after teaching this class, I won't say hundreds of times, but dozens of times now, is that students who fall behind at those critical points tend to fail the class. And I would much rather kick you out of the class early. You get a full refund. It's like it never happened here. Or give you a W grade than have you get an F. Because this is the 60% date of the semester. That means the semester is way over halfway done. There are 19 modules in this class. There are 18 assignments. So if you haven't done even a third of the assignments by the 60% date, I don't think you're catching up, because the assignments at this point will just get more and more complex in this class. So grades. We gotta have the grade conversation, because nobody likes grades, but we all have to deal with grades, right? So if it was up to me, sorry, wrong. I'm not supposed to breathe while I'm drinking. If it was up to me, I would never talk about grades, because I think grades are dumb. My Ph.D. actually isn't in computer science, it's in education. And so I've studied, done the research of what grades do to student learning. Because the minute we start talking about grades, your attention focus is from, I want to learn Python, to, oh my gosh, I got to pass this class to get credit for it. It's a distraction. Grades are not good. Grades are here for us, the institutions. They're so that when you transfer from BC to Cal State Bakersfield, we have a way of telling Cal State Bakersfield how well you did in our classes, or how well you did at learning stuff. That's what grades are supposed to represent. Not usually very accurate in that regard either, because I've literally gotten terrible grades in classes where I've learned a ton, and gotten great grades in classes where I've learned nothing, right? So do grades reflect learning? Probably not. But in this class, I have to give you a grade. At the end of the semester, I have to write down a letter, one of these, right? So this is how I do it, and I try to talk about grades as little as possible from now on. Everyone starts with 0 points, which represents how much you know about Python so far. Every assignment in this class is keep trying until you get it right. I want you to learn. If I give you one try and you get it wrong, and I say F on that assignment, but now move on to the next thing, but you didn't learn the first thing first, how is that useful to you? I want you to learn. So if you submit something and it's not quite right, I will give you feedback, and then you resubmit it. And the next assignment will build on the previous one. So it's important that you understand. My goal is that you learn some stuff in this class. I want you to learn. I want you to learn to code. I want you to enjoy coding the way I enjoy coding, or at least close to that, I guess. My goal is not to judge you, it is to teach you. So that's how we're going to do it. There are no quizzes, pop or otherwise. There are no exams, period. Our final exam date will be a one last work time for you to come in and work on projects. There will be no exams in this class. I don't believe in exams when it comes to coding. What I believe in is writing code. And I want you to write as much code as you can in this class. So there's 18 assignments, each of them worth 10 points. These are the bigger fish in the pond, I guess you could say. The things that where I'm really looking to see if you understand a concept or not. There are 15 sandbox challenges, each worth 1 point. The sandbox challenges are literally monkey see, monkey do, step by step, follow the instructions, and watch what it does, and maybe play around a little bit. They're super easy, but they all sort of contribute to the assignments. So usually most modules in this class, you will have a sandbox and an assignment. The last 3 or 4 of these are more advanced projects that are more fun, but there's no sandbox to build to them. All of these are going to teach you a concept, and then you're going to use that concept in the assignment. That's how it works. So 100% in this class is 180 points. Now, if you notice, 18 assignments is 180 points. The sandboxes are free money. They're not extra credit. They're just easy learning opportunities. So I recommend doing them. If you're a more advanced student, one way you can twist this class to be more challenging for yourself or maybe less tedious is to just focus your work on the assignments. You can still get 100% in the class and do 0 sandboxes. If you're a beginner, I highly recommend doing the sandboxes because you may get to a point later in the class where you're like, this assignment is too tricky for me. I don't think I'm going to get there. I'm not going to finish all 18. So that's a way of making that up. So this is the grading scale. It's completely transparent. There are no partial points. It's very simple. There should be no mystery to you what you will get at the end of the class. Right? There should be no surprises, like I said, unless I cancel class in this class. So you know the targets, you know what you have to do, you know all of the assignments ahead of time. So there should be no mystery here. So in this class, I like to think of learning as sort of an agreement between me and you. What I expect from students is to treat each other with respect, both online and in person, participate actively and regularly, communicate with me. I want you to challenge yourself, be patient with technology. If you use technology, technology will bite you in the butt. It's inevitable. You saw the projector try and get me before class here. Luckily, I know the 2 secrets, right? Is it plugged in and did you restart it? Keep doing those things until it's fixed. I want you to fail. What? Yeah. Failure is a massive tool that you can use for learning. One of my favorite things to watch is somebody learning a new skateboard trick. Have you ever paid attention to that? I used to take my son to the skate park before my body was so fragile that it would take me months to recover from anything. But when I was in my 30s, my son was 10 or whatever, we'd go to the skate park down at Beale Park every week. And the cool thing about skateboarding is that you watch somebody do something 100 times in a row, the same line, the same trick, the same sequence of things until they get it. And it's like 99% failure, but the failure is a mechanism for learning. You can do the same thing with coding. That's the nice thing about it. It's a very forgiving art, right? You write the code, you run the program, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Then you learn from that. You make a small adjustment, like the skateboarder. You lean a little forward, you lean a little back, you do something a little bit different. The timing is changed or whatever. You change your code, you run it again. Maybe it fails multiple times, but each time you're learning something. That's how you fail powerfully. Remember, most important thing, I'm on your team here. I am here to help you learn. I'm not here to stand in your way between you and the goal of passing this class. I know it feels that way sometimes with some professors. Remember, I'm on your team. I expect that each person will do your own work because what's the point? Regardless of why you're taking this class, I'm just going to assume that at some point you're going to sit down at somebody's computer, whether it's for money or for fun or some other reason, and you'll want to write some code. And if you fudge your way through this class, and I'm not even going to pretend for a second that that's not possible, it's easy to fudge your way through a class, but at some point, you're going to be sitting there at a computer and somebody's going to say, hey, can you do this for me? And you'd be like, I don't know. It'll be really kind of embarrassing. So I am going to assume that you actually want to learn as much as I want you to learn. Okay, so this is a wrong copy and paste. Basically, no, it's not. What you can expect from me, okay? I will treat you with dignity and respect. I'm going to provide a great course. I spent a lot of time working on this course. I spent hours just revising this course this summer just to make it better. I'm going to respond to your communication. If you send me something and you don't hear from me within 24 hours, send it again because I probably didn't get it for whatever reason. Okay? Sometimes it happens. If I sense that you need support, I will reach out to you. Okay? Sometimes I'm good at sensing that you need support, and sometimes I'm not. If you need support, I hope you will talk to me. If you need something extra, if you have a sick relative or somebody you're caretaking for, or something happens in your life that's outside of school that says, hey, this class is, I need some help here, or you're just struggling in class, get in touch with me. And I'm going to try to pay attention to those things, but I see a lot of students and it's really tough to see what's going on behind the scenes. So I don't always know. I will bring my A game to this class. I will come prepared. I will try to start on time. Obviously, life happens to me too, but I've got a pretty good track record, and I will communicate with you. And most importantly, I'm going to trust you. If you say, this is my best effort, I did this on my own, and whatever, I'm gonna default to trust here. I know a lot of my colleagues at BC and outside of BC sort of default to suspicion when it comes to student work because it's easy to cheat, right? Easy.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that you mention it. It's trustworthy. So this is our class schedule. I know it's kind of overwhelming the way I put it here. I used to have it in a little grid, but you couldn't even read those. But this is every assignment. Everything that starts with an S is a sandbox. Everything that starts with an A is an assignment. The due dates, the start dates, it's all predetermined. I've mapped out the whole semester and I'll stick to that schedule. So you can tell when and where we're going to be working on. Yes.
Can we go ahead on some assignments?
Yes, absolutely. And if you decide to work ahead, you will find that my lectures from this spring are already online for every module. So you can do that. My lectures will change. I try to improve on things over time, but it's more or less the same information. So how to get an A? I'm going to tell you the secret. Write as much code as possible. If you have an interesting idea or a problem that comes to mind that you think could be solved in code, try and write a program to solve that problem. Play around, make up stuff. I would suggest coming to class and staying for the work time. There will be portions of class where I'll be talking, and there will be portions of class where I will allow you to work. Sometimes people think that, oh, I'm going to listen to the lecture and then I'm going to split once it's time to do the work time, and I'll just do the work later. The odds of you doing the work later are less than the odds of you doing it if you just stay for the time that you already scheduled to be here. Just a fact. So come to class, stay for the work time. Don't cheat yourself. That's the only person you're cheating. You're not pulling one over on me. You're not getting away with anything. The only thing you're getting away with is claiming to know Python when you don't, which doesn't hurt me. It just hurts you. If you keep up with the class, that's really useful. Please over communicate with me, and don't give up without talking to me first. I can't tell you how many times I've had a conversation with a student where they say to me, Professor Mosley, I don't think I can pass this class. Things are getting too hard. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. And I say, hang in there, stick with it. Don't drop the class. I'm going to help you. Most of those times, those people come out with an A. I've never had somebody that I've talked into staying in the class who hasn't passed the class with a C or better. Okay? So that's my commitment to you. If you come to me and you say, I need more help, I will do everything in my power to help you. So tools in this class, This is PyCharm. There are detailed instructions about how to install that on your computer at home. So you can install it for free as a student. PyCharm Pro can be installed as a student for free. It is the same tool I use for coding in all of my other projects. Exact same thing. PyCharm, the community edition, or PyCharm without the Pro, is free to download, easy, no registration required. For the Pro version, you can download it for free, but you have to prove that you're a student. There's a little process, and I detail that on the Canvas website. For those of you that have a Chromebook, we can buy you a little time. There's a website called Python Sandbox where you can run basic Python programs online, and that will allow you some time. Eventually, you will need a Mac or Windows computer to run PyCharm. I think they may also have a Linux version if that's your thing, but I won't support anybody who's doing Linux. I figure if you are a Linux person, you're used to supporting yourself anyway. So that's right. That's right. That is the hallmark of a Linux person. So anyway, PyCharm is what you're really going to need later in the class. There are assignments in the last half of the class that you cannot do on a Chromebook using the easy accessible stuff. So you will need PyCharm.